Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Becky, and we're parents to 2 little kids. Parenting isn't always easy. There are ups and downs, good days and bad days, days with way too much TV, and days with lots of laughter. Moments where you just feel overwhelmed, and moments where you've never felt more proud.
At the end of the day, parenting is super rewarding, but also super hard. This podcast is for all the parents out there who feel like they have no idea what they're doing, because we're right there with you. This is the Spillproof podcast.
Welcome back to the Spillproof podcast. I'm Becky.
And I'm Dave.
And today we're going to give you a life update.
Yeah, today we thought we would catch up on all the non-podcast time that we've had.
Yeah.
Which has been the better part of almost 2 months.
Yeah, we've been slacking.
It's been a lot that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
Between trips and other things. We just we weren't able to find the time for it. And I'm sorry to say that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do enjoy doing this.
This time it wasn't because someone was sick. I feel like normally when we have a little break, it's because...
that's true.
There's a month where sickness is just running through the house and everyone's just exhausted. So this is just other things were making us exhausted.
Yeah. This time nobody was sick. That's a good point. Well,
we've had some colds,
off and on,
not
but it didn't
like,
wasn't
it didn't
the main
run
reason.
rampant through
like
the
one
house.
of us didn't have a cough that enabled us not to do this.
Yeah, that's
Hindered
what
us.
the previous breaks were.
So where do you want to start? We've had so much time go by.
Oh gosh,
I'm trying to think of what the furthest thing back was.
So much. Why don't we start with your mom's accident?
Yeah.
Which I laugh. It's not funny.
I mean,
I think we can laugh about it now.
We might. There might be enough time. Her concussion's gone.
Yeah. So we were on our electric bikes, and Dave's mom has one too. So
it's actually our old one.
It's our old, yeah. We had given her our old one, Dave's old one, and Dave had gotten, what is it? A rad...
It's a rad wagon, so it's
wagon.
a wagon utility one.
That we could eventually use with, like, both kids could ride on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided randomly one Sunday morning we were going to go...
Which is pretty normal for us.
Yeah, this is like a normal weekend activity, but we hadn't necessarily planned it. We kind of woke up and we're like, let's do our little bike trip thing. So we end up biking on the canal path to a neighboring town, and we go to a playground there. We let the kids play for a bit, and then we head into this cute little shopping restaurant area, again off the canal, and we end up having lunch. We usually get gelato or iced coffee for us, gelato for the kids, and then we head home, and it's usually around it's like nap time by the time we do that. So it's like kind of like a nice half day activity, gets outside, and it's really fun.
You okay?
I'm putting my phone on silent.
Oh, good call.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you had an iPhone, you don't have to worry about that.
So this Sunday morning, we were like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, let's ask your mom.
I think Owen even asked.
Yeah, I think
said,
Owen
let's have Nene
said,
go.
let's have Nene come. So you called her and she was like, yeah. We're like, okay, we'll be ready in like half hour. We just got to get the kids ready. And I think it was like 45 minutes because the kids take forever.
Yeah.
So you tell what happened next.
So she came over to our house, which is literally 2 houses down. So she met us here.
Excuse me, it's 3 houses down.
3 houses down. And to get to the park, I mean, we live close to, off of, whatever you want to call it, the Erie Canal, where there's paths. So what we do is we ride down, we jump on the main street for, I don't know.
Like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute bike ride, and then you hop onto the canal path. The thing about the canal path is the majority of it is not paved, at least on this side of it. Once you get closer to the city, it actually is paved. Once you get to where we were actually going, it's actually paved. But the majority of it's just gravel, loose gravel. And it had definitely been dry as well. So it was dry, loose gravel. And we don't typically to put this into a little bit of context, we don't normally have more than 2 of us riding at one time. And between the gravel and the bikes, it can kind of be hard to hear if you're trying to communicate to someone, even if they're only like...
Yeah, even when it's just you and I riding with the
Yeah.
kids on, each kid has a seat on the back of our bikes. And it's like if I'm behind you, I can usually tell that you're saying something, but then I'm typically yelling back up, I can't hear you.
Right, and then I yell louder and then you can
Yeah.
hear. So that's a problem that we know how to address, but we don't necessarily offset that for a third person.
Yeah.
So anyways, we were riding on the canal path, and
You were first.
I was first.
Middle.
You were middle.
Your mom was last.
And Mom was last because she just wanted to bring up the rear, which is fine. We were moving actually probably pretty quick. I mean, we were moving at like
quick.
14, 15 miles an hour. So we were moving at a good pace, and I probably was moving faster than I should have, having 3 of us. And Owen was complaining about his helmet. And the kids always complain about their helmets. But he was complaining about it being like not feeling right or whatever. So we want to make sure it fits right. So I asked him if we need to pull over and adjust it, and he says, yeah. So I yell back to Becky that we're going to pull over and fix his helmet. So...
And I don't think I yelled back.
I don't know.
I don't remember doing it, or I had the thought, because your mom was pretty far behind us, so I think I thought...
She was.
She was, because she was always
at least twice as far back as you were to me.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, she'll see.
And so I pull off into the grass. I think you pull off kind of like off, but like on the path, on the grass.
Yeah,
like right
I wasn't
on the edge.
fully. I don't always go fully off, anyways.
No, I just do just to make sure traffic behind us is fine.
Yeah.
And apparently Mom didn't hear us or see, or she said she wasn't paying attention. Like she was looking off into the canal or something like that. And we actually have video of this.
Not of it actually happening, but
No.
immediately after.
Yeah. I mean, we usually ride for safety reasons, we ride with cameras. So I usually have one on my helmet, and recently we put one on Becky's bike as well. And really, that's more for like if we're riding on the road and one of us gets hit or something happens. It just
I didn't know that that's what that was for.
That's
I thought
what
it was
that's
just
for.
to capture images.
No, it's for if like we ever got hit by a car and we'd have proof or whatever it might be.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, that's the reason why we did that. I always delete them afterwards. So she didn't see, and by the time that she did, she had hit the brakes, and I believe she used the front brake.
Mm-hmm.
And we had asked her, and she said she didn't know she had a front and back brake. Because when she used to ride bikes, she said that was like a pedal brake.
Yeah, where you just like push backwards.
Yeah,
That's
like
like
when
how
you're,
my
like,
first bike
8.
was. Yeah.
Or just a rear brake with the handbrake. There was only one. So she grabbed the left one, which is the front brake, and locked it up. And I remember getting off my bike, and I heard the gravel, like the skid of the tire, and then the bike hitting the ground.
Yeah, I remember hearing it and then seeing and hearing you go, "Oh, Mom!"
Yeah,
and you ran over.
So she dumped the bike. She didn't actually fall that far. I think she had slowed down enough by that point. Like the skid mark was maybe a couple of feet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was, yeah.
It wasn't very far.
It wasn't as far as like I think we thought it was initially.
Yeah, if she had done it at speed, I think that it would have been an issue, but I think she was slowing down at that point. So she fell.
She fell forwards and sideways.
Right.
Yeah.
Luckily she didn't fly over the bike, and the bike didn't necessarily land on her.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have, and she might have slid out from under it. It's really hard to tell, but when I got to her, the bike was not on her, and she unfortunately had face planted into the gravel, so she had gravel in her mouth.
She was immediately spitting out gravel.
Blood. There was blood everywhere. It was actually pretty. it looked a lot worse than it actually was.
It did. It looked way worse than it ended up being.
But always with facial things, as far as facial wounds go, there's always a lot of blood. And I think she had some cuts on the inside of her mouth. She had a cut on her upper lip. Once
her
we
nose
cleaned
was
it off,
bleeding.
her nose was bleeding. I mean, there was a lot of blood on her face, mouth, nose area, and dirt and gravel,
and in her hands.
And then she ended up getting a lot of gravel in her hands because they broke her fall. And her helmet actually, I mean, the front of it was smashed in. I shouldn't say smashed in. It was dented in fairly hard, or fairly far, and it didn't have a hard shell on it. It's a weird helmet.
That's why you wear a helmet, though, everyone.
But it's why you wear a helmet. That's right. She suffered a mild concussion, but luckily, Becky's parents came and picked her up and took her to the hospital because we had a problem. We walked the bike to the closest offshoot, which actually wasn't very
pretty
far.
Close, yeah.
It's a little eighth of a mile maybe. We walked the bikes. Your parents came, picked her up, took her to urgent care, where they cleaned the wounds, and but we had a problem because we had
an extra bike,
the kids, and an extra bike, and the kids wanted to go to the playground. They really wanted to go.
I wouldn't let the kids see what was happening. So while Dave was helping his mom, the kids were facing forward. They're in their seats on the back of the bikes, and so I was kind of just trying to keep them calm so that way Dave could focus on his mom, and a couple other people stopped, and I was just like, Nene's fine, she's okay. I was like, she fell off her, I told them what happened. I was like, she fell off her bike and she's hurt pretty bad, but she's gonna be okay. But I was just trying to keep them calm, and then I ended up telling them, I was like, okay, because we were all gonna walk together to where my parents could pick up Donna. We were going to walk to where my parents were going to pick her up, and I knew they were going to see blood. So I was like, she is bleeding, but she's okay. It's going to look scary, but she's okay.
Yeah.
And Emmy was like, nay, 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 nay. And Owen was like, I want to go to the playground.
He was just mad because he couldn't go to the playground because we had told him that we weren't going now. But that actually brings up a really good point, too. I mean, it was a very nice day out. There was a lot of people out. And there were multiple people who stopped. There were multiple people who passed, too. And I'd like to think that we would be someone who stopped. But honestly, up until this point, we were never equipped for something like this. We are now.
We now have a first aid
kit.
People were very nice.
But there were some really nice people that stopped. Gave her water to swish the spit and a mask to
someone was like,
off.
I have a mask, I haven't worn it yet, but it helped her kind of just dab her face a bit. So.
And then they left, and then another husband and wife stopped, and they actually had a medical kit, which was nice. Actually, I think the same one that we bought. And they gave us gauze, they gave us saline, they gave us a bunch of stuff to kind of help clean it out.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. And actually, I almost forgot to mention that. It was a lot more than anyone had to do, and it was actually really nice that people stopped and helped out. And because, I mean, there was a lot of people that walked and just rode right by as well. So, but then we had to figure out what to do with the bike. So luckily, your brother has a truck.
Yes.
We called him up, and
there's a gas station right near that offshoot. So I rode your mom's bike to the gas station, met him there, helped him get the bike in the truck bed, and then walked back to you guys on the canal.
And then we brought the bike back, or brought our bikes back home, and we all came home at that point. Owen was very upset about it, but I think he got over it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And this was a week. A week?
Yeah.
A week, almost exactly.
A little less than a week before we left for the beach vacation.
Right. So this was a little less than a week before she was supposed to drive.
It's the day before Memorial Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you want to call it? A 14-hour drive?
It's 12 to 14 hours with limited stops.
Right. So she was supposed to drive down. So
to the beach, yeah.
We were...
Wait, but even before that, I had to go to the ER with her.
Oh, right. That was, you got to tell her that because I...
Yeah. So when we got back to the house, I had called my mom because she had gone with Dave's mom to urgent care. So I called them. They're like, hey, they cleaned everything out, but they cleaned out as much as they can, but they're recommending she go to the emergency department. Can you or Dave go with her? And Dave was originally going to go with her, but then Owen had an almighty breakdown about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you stay with the kids.
Slightly attached.
Yeah, you took them. You ended up doing like a picnic lunch at the park with them. And then I went and picked your mom up at urgent care, and we went to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
We had to wait a little bit. And we were hoping your brother was going to be working that day, but he wasn't. He was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to fast track
He was asleep
it.
through all
of it. So we ended up waiting for a while. Your mom tried to get me to leave and come pick her up later. And I was like,
she was concussed.
Yeah. I was like, let's just see what happens. And she actually got in to get an x-ray of her knee, right? Pretty quickly. Yeah. Cause she has 2 knee replacements. And it's funny thinking back now, and we were like, oh, she really didn't skid that far, because when we were in the emergency room, we were both like, she skidded on the gravel like 7 feet. Cause that's what it seems like. Yeah.
She was convinced she flew over the handlebars, but that wouldn't have happened the way she landed.
Yeah, no.
Relative to the bike.
So yeah, she got the x-ray pretty quickly, and then they brought us to this annex on the emergency room, which is, it's something they built kind of makeshift. It almost looks like those enclosures you put over tennis courts.
Oh, yeah. That was the COVID
That
center.
was the COVID. That was the overflow for COVID. So that's where we were. And we sat there for a really, really long time. And then the doctor came in and was like, hey, your knee replacements look good. There was no damage to them. So that's good, because she had banged up her knee a little. And she found, we had found some more scrapes and bruises on her that we showed the ER doctor. And she was like, yeah, your nose isn't broken. We had thought she had a huge laceration on her upper lip, and it was really just a bad scratch.
It looked like there was
I was
really bad.
I thought she was going to need stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And
we
were
were convinced.
Yeah, they were like, you don't need stitches on anything. We're not even going to clean anything else out of your hands. It'll come out on their own. They were just like, soak your hands.
Which was very confusing.
Yeah, they were like, just soak your hands in warm water and soap, and it'll all come out on its own, and you're going to be discharged. And I was like, what? All you did was take an x-ray.
Well, because you guys were under the assumption that you were going there to have it cleaned or have it taken care of or bandaged or whatever.
Yeah.
By urgent care.
Because that was the impression that urgent care gave your mom.
Because urgent care has an
x-ray machine, but it wasn't working that day. Or they didn't have someone to operate it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
So basically, they sent us to the emergency department as a liability thing, because your mom has knee replacements, to make sure that her knee replacement wasn't busted.
Right.
So, and then we waited to be discharged for an hour, and both your mom and I were going so crazy, because we were like, we just want to leave. Just let us leave. Yeah. And then your mom got yelled at because we just, there weren't actual doors anywhere. It was just curtains, but she walked into what the hallway was. And this one nurse kept yelling at her to get back in our tiny room.
That's funny.
So then we got discharged, and, yeah. Your mom was able to go home and get cleaned up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's more or less better now.
Yeah, but it was
scary.
It was 5 days before she was going to drive by herself to.
Which then we were
beach.
thinking that she might have to ride with us, or my brother might have to ride down with her.
We also didn't know until Wednesday that she had a concussion.
That's right. It was
like
delayed.
Wednesday or Thursday she had a concussion.
We finally got her to go to the doctor, which she wasn't doing. She called, and they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever."
Yeah, just monitor. Let us know if you don't feel good. And then Wednesday she was like,
"I had a headache.
I need to go home. My head hurt." She felt so queasy and sick, and
from watching the kids.
Yeah, and so my mom came and took over, and then she got in that next morning, and they were like, "Yep, you have a concussion, but you can drive by yourself to the beach,"
which makes no sense. Still don't believe that. But. Yeah, so that was an interesting predicament, because we were planning on driving down to the beach. We have a van. Again, it's what is it, 750 miles, 14 plus hours. It's
with no stops on Google Maps. It's 12 hours and 32 or 38 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we were thinking we were going to have to change our plans.
Mm-hmm.
It turned out that wasn't the only time we were going to have to think about that, but this was the first time where we didn't know, because my brother was going to drive down with us. We had planned on driving through the night nonstop, and we'd have 3 drivers. We'd make it through. He works nights, so it was going to be perfect. And then this happened, and then we weren't sure if he was going to have to go down with her or if they were going to have to, caravan down.
He had a COVID scare.
That's right. He thought he had COVID, which ended up being, did I ever tell you it was walking pneumonia?
Was it really?
That's what he was diagnosed with, walking pneumonia.
Yeah.
Which was after the trip. But yeah, he wanted to he got tested by 3 or 4 different things to make sure he wasn't contagious. He still wore a mask in the car for us and the kids.
And the second we got to the house of 28 people or 26 people.
Yeah.
He didn't wear masks.
No. Sorry, everybody. Blowing him in for that.
They told him, but at that point,
he knew he wasn't contagious.
Everyone had told him, like 4 doctors had told him he wasn't contagious.
And I'm pretty sure someone in the house had just gotten over COVID a couple weeks before that.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure that was going to have to change. Luckily, nothing had to change for those plans. She drove down by herself, drove back up. She stopped on the way down and drove all the way back up, but she was there for 2 weeks. We were only there for 1.
Yeah.
So she had enough time to kind of recoup and.
But when we were down there, she found a lot more bruises.
She did. She found a lot of bruises, which were all gone by the time she got back.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to hear about them anymore. Yeah. So that was before we were leaving for this really big trip that had been postponed once due to COVID, and was quite logistically was a very hard thing to schedule due to the fact that there were 26
people total.
26 people's schedules who we had to kind of wrangle in. Now that includes kids and spouses and things like that. So it was actually like 8 families, but it wasn't easy. I think the last time we did this was what, 2 years ago?
3. Oh, yeah, 3. Because Owen was 5 months.
That's
when
right.
we went the first time, so it was about 3 years.
It's about 3 years ago.
But we almost didn't make it again.
That's right. So, moving on to the next thing that happened, we had planned on leaving that Friday. The rental was going to be open Saturday, late in the day, but we were hoping to get in early. We were optimistic of that. A little too optimistic. And so I was working, Becky was off. She was going to be packing, and I was going to work just because I don't have the time to really take extra days off for the time I was taking.
And I was going to try to take a nap so I could drive the first leg.
Which I don't think you did.
I did drive the first leg.
You didn't take a nap.
No, I did not take a nap.
Because of everything that happened.
There's too much going on. It was too stressful.
So I woke up early that morning, and I think I went out to get gas and wash the car.
I think so, yeah.
Do something like that. Get coffee, snacks, or whatever. And I had noticed that the tire pressure monitoring light was on, which is pretty common for our car. It's gone off a bunch before. So I didn't think much of it. But considering we were about to take a 750-mile drive, I thought...
Through the night,
when everything's closed, I thought, you know what, I better check it. Turned out that we had a flat tire. And we have a 2017 Toyota Sienna that is all-wheel drive because of where we live. And a fun fact about these cars, they run on run-flat tires, which means 2 things. 1, there's no spare. And 2, you can't tell when you have a flat because it doesn't get flat, at least not immediately. So the day before it was perfectly fine. It must have just happened. We had just had it at the dealership getting serviced, and we are 10 hours from leaving on this vacation, and we don't have a car. So we called around. I think we called 3 or 4 places right when they opened. And every single place we called was like, we don't have the tire, because they're run-flat tires, so you need a special machine. They're not normally carried, because really, other than like German cars, this van's the only thing that uses them.
Yeah, every place was like, we could get you in Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
You're like,
so then we were thinking, okay, we have another car, but it only seats 5 people. It's, it's a
Like whoever would sit in between the car seats would be miserable.
right.
If you could even fit.
And our car's small enough where that just wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
So then we were thinking, oh man, Dan might have to ride with Mom as she was leaving.
Yeah.
Like she
was pulling out
of the
driveway, and you called her and you were like, Dan might need to drive with you.
And he had purposely said, like, don't wake him up, because he was upset that he had to bring his stuff over at 2. And this was, first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to figure out if he had a ride with her. And then that's when he was like, well, I don't know if I'm actually going or not. This is all day of leaving.
But at that point, like, we knew he didn't have COVID and we knew he didn't have the flu.
He still wasn't planning on going if he found out he was contagious. So it was still up in the air at that point. I don't know if I told you that.
No, I knew that,
okay.
But he had verbal confirmation from doctors that he wasn't contagious, and he was waiting for it in writing.
One more time. Yeah. It was something stupid. It sounded like every single excuse ever made up just to not have to ride with 2 kids through the night and then through the day for 1,700.
I mean, he could have said no months ago.
Or just driven himself. He has a car.
He has a car.
Could have borrowed one of ours. It doesn't matter. We held up Mom.
Well, we didn't really hold her up.
No.
We talked to her for
stopped
30 seconds, and
then she got to the main part of where she was going to get on the highway, and she called and just double checked again.
Yeah.
And we started calling around for rental cars at this point because we need a third row vehicle of some sort. We were going to use a car top carrier, which also threw a wrench in it, because if a rental didn't have the crossbars,
we couldn't use the car top
so
carrier.
we needed to get a van, because most of the vans that are rentals, they have them built into them.
Yeah. And we were able to, I secured one on Enterprise.
You did. You secured one online.
I thought I secured one online. It let me book it.
And then you called them.
No, they called me at 9 o'clock.
Oh, that's
I had
right.
booked this at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 7:30 before they even opened, or maybe it was 8. Anyways, I booked it online, and then at 9 o'clock they called and said, we are not sure, or they said, we don't have any vans available. We're really low on rentals, but we can get you
a Traverse,
a Chevy Traverse,
which
or
is
Chevy
like
Tahoe or something.
It was a Traverse. A Tahoe we would have been fine with.
Yeah, because I don't know cars as well as Dave does, so I ran down to his office in the basement and was like, they don't have a van, but they have this. Is this okay? And we were like, okay, it'll probably be okay. But then the guy was like, all right, well, I'm going to call a couple other dealerships that are, or like rental places that are within an hour. Because he said something
was within Buffalo, right?
Yeah, he said we might be able to get a van from Buffalo. And I was like, well, I don't want to drive out there. And he was like, well, we would bring it here. We would go get it and bring it here. He was like, let me call you back in 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, but we kind of need to know like now. And he was like, I'm going to call back in 15 minutes. And he never called back.
No. But while that was happening, I called, I think, just one place. And it was like a random Mavis tire, just out of the blue. It was one of the ones I hadn't called yet. They opened late, like 9 or something like that. And all this crisis was happening like before 8. And I called him up and said, hey, do you have these tires? He's like, no. He's like, I can get them to you by Thursday. I said, no, it's fine. We're leaving today. I need them like today and put on today. He's like, oh, well, I can get them from the warehouse and have them on today. Just bring in the car. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that was around 10-ish, I want to say. So I talked to my manager, said, hey, I got to go drop my car off, because he knew we were leaving.
Yeah.
So went out there, dropped. Did you come out with us?
Yes, because I had already dropped the kids off at my parents.
That's right. That's right.
Because I was like, I'm going to drop them off there. They had a bunch of toys. My sister had dropped off a bunch of toys at my parents' house.
They were happy as can be.
So they were perfectly content playing with all these new cars and trucks, and they had lunch there. So they were kind of out of the way, so we could panic in private.
So we dropped it off. They were super nice.
Yep.
They guaranteed that it was going to be done by the end of the day. Or let me rephrase that. They guaranteed they'd have it done that day.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily say when. So And that was 10. So I'm working, you're packing.
I'm finishing packing.
And I don't know, 5 o'clock rolls around?
I think at 4:30, I had told you need to call them. And then at 5:30, I called them.
At 5:30, you called them.
Yeah.
And they said they were behind because they had lost power.
Yeah.
But they said they were still going to have it done. So at the
And
problem
they closed
was
at 6.
they closed at 6.
Yeah.
So Dan had gotten here by that point. So he said, as I had him drive me over there, because I was like, I just have to go there and wait so they don't close on us before we can get this thing. Because if I wait until they call, by the time I get there, it's going to be closed. So he dropped me off. And I mean, I think it was like 6:06 when I actually got the van. And we had been planning on leaving sometime between 7:30 and 8.
Between around 7 was our goal time.
7:30. So we still had to put everything in the car, put the car top carrier on, load the car top carrier, which we had never done before.
Yeah.
Strap it to the roof so it didn't fall off.
Yeah.
And get everybody in the car, get them all ready for night and bedtime, essentially, because the kids were going to fall asleep in the car within an hour and a half.
Yeah, because by the time you got home, it was 6:30.
Yeah, something like that.
But we did good. We got the car top carrier on, nice and secure. We loaded it up, and I think we were ready to go by 8. It was
I think we were.
8:08 or something, or 8:06.
It was really close to 8.
Yeah.
So we weren't too far off. And we ended up making really good time going down. It took us 14 hours, right?
Yeah, and we
only had one stop.
We did one big stop at the end. So we had stopped a couple times throughout the night to gas up, bathroom breaks. But then we had stopped for probably an hour, close to an hour, I would say, to just get the kids up and change them out of
this was
their
a little bit different
jammies
than the last time we went down, because the last time we went down, by the time we got there, we knew we were going to be around the time we potentially could get in. This time, we weren't going to be able to get until 3 o'clock.
Well, the check-in time was 4.
4 o'clock.
But we were very hopeful that we were going to get in earlier. Because last time we got in earlier.
And based on when we were planning on getting there, we were going to get there around 9 or 10 o'clock. So there was no rush to get down, which was kind of nice.
Yeah. And we knew we were going to spend the morning in
Southport.
Yeah.
So the kids didn't sleep.
Yeah, they were up from midnight because we stopped around a little after midnight. Or no, we stopped a little around 11:30, and they were up from 11:30 to 1:30.
Yeah.
It was crazy. They were
they weren't.
They were happy.
Yeah, Emily would cry every once in a while, which would try to wake Owen up.
Fell asleep because she's a tummy and a side sleeper. So she would fall asleep and then try to roll to her side and then get really frustrated because she's strapped in. So she would then cry and then fall back asleep and then cry and fall back asleep.
I still want a road trip van.
Dave wants and granted, we've taken 2 road trips in the past year.
But we would take more if we had it.
I don't think we would.
I think we would.
Dave wants to get some Mercedes van.
No. It's the modern day equivalent of those conversion vans with the seats that are in the shades and stuff like that.
So
but it'd be
ice cream
Ford
truck
Transit.
trying to abduct your kids vans.
No, like a Ford Transit that's a 9-passenger.
A Ford Transit is an abduction van.
No, it's not. It's like a moving van.
No, we should train our kids to run from those vans.
No, it's literally the ones they make Class B RVs from. But just having 2 in the front or 2 in the middle, a bench in the back, and the rest of it for storage, so we could bring the e-bikes and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And we wouldn't have to use a car top carrier. Or an NV 3500.
I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I've vetoed this, everyone.
If we come into a lot of money, we're getting a big van.
We're not. We're putting college funds together for our kids if we come into a lot of
then
money.
We're getting a big van.
No, we're not. The rule is I get to choose the next car.
You get your Bronco, and then I'll get a big van.
We'll see.
It has to be a lot of money
Yeah.
because we got to fix a bunch of stuff too.
So anyways, leading up into our vacation was very stressful.
Yes. Yes.
And then we had to drive through the night. And then, just vacation was great. But just being in one house, 10 bedrooms, 26 people, 8
3
kids
flights,
under
4
8.
flights, stairs.
Yeah. So by the time you walked up the stairs, you were on like
It was 4
4
floors
because the first floor
was
was
garage.
and like that one little room, which we couldn't go into, but
Which there was an elevator, but
it's the beach, so like you park underneath it.
yeah.
So the first floor started on like the second.
And there was
floor.
an elevator, but we didn't use it.
We almost used it once to bring the pizza up.
Oh, right.
That
And
last
then Mom
night.
got stuck in
Then
it.
your mom got stuck in it. I was like, see, this is why you don't use the elevator.
Yeah. It was a great vacation.
It was really fun.
I'm really glad we did it. I hope we do it again in another, 3 years because that seems to be the trend. We did Gatlinburg 3 years ago, and then we did this at Oak Island in North Carolina in the Outer Banks area. But it was not relaxing at all.
It wasn't relaxing in the sense that we have a 1 and 3-year-old. I mean, Emmy's almost 2, but 1 and 3-year-old. And it was all near water, and they can't swim, and they don't like to wear swimmies.
And there's a pool.
And there's a
And
pool
there's
with like
multiple
no
flights
railing.
of stairs.
Yeah, with no baby gates, and we were all sleeping in one room.
Yeah. It
So
was
we had to
very
push
tight.
our bed to the side so we could fit pack and
Because it was
plays.
a king bed in a little
Owen
room.
barely fit in the pack and play. I had to sleep diagonal. Emmy decided halfway
It
through.
was a very nice house.
It was a very nice house. Emmy decided halfway through the week that she was just going to sleep in bed with us.
Yeah, she really enjoyed co-sleeping. Owen, I don't think he really cares
Which
that
we
much.
have
We've never done. We've never
co-slept.
co-slept.
I don't like it.
No.
Like, she's fine, but she just like...
Well, that's not true. We did it once. We did it once in Ohio. On that
Oh,
trip.
yeah. But that's like... It was like one night where Owen was sick and Emmy
He had 104
was
fever.
awake.
And,
Yeah. And was like, well, I want to have fun.
yeah. Was that before COVID or after COVID?
No, it was like in the middle of COVID.
Did we test him? We did.
We did, and
We
he
did.
was negative.
He didn't have COVID.
Yes, he
just
didn't
was
have
really
COVID.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we didn't really realize how sick we were until we were like there.
Another thing that was interesting is I didn't realize how much of a hovering parent I was.
Yeah, we are, compared to the other parents, we are hoverers.
Compared to almost everybody we've met at this point.
Probably.
Other than
Something we can work
a couple
on.
parents of that we've met that I can think of. But apparently we really hover.
I think part of it is we hover, and part of it is we just really, like, we get into the playing too.
Yeah.
So like we play with them a lot.
We don't leave our kids alone ever.
No, well, they're 1 and 3.
Right. I mean, in our house we do, but
In
house
our
is
house
like
we do
baby-proofed.
baby-proofed. This was like the stairs were in the middle of the
house.
Yeah.
And we couldn't put a baby gate on there because of the rail.
Yeah, it was weird. So like we had to like play like goalie at the stairs to make sure nobody fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
And it was right near the dinner tables.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal for kids.
Yeah.
And then there was an alarm on the door that, like, in case the kids opened the door to the pool, that would go off. Mm-hmm. But it would go off every, like, 10 seconds.
Yeah, so if you, like, opened the door, you had to press the pass-through button. And if you didn't press it in time, and it was
had
higher
10
up,
seconds.
yeah,
It was like 5 or 10
then it
seconds.
would start
It was
beeping.
insane.
And when we first got there, I thought your mom was going to rip it off the wall because it was going off constantly.
And that came with the house, right?
I think I don't know what the laws are in North Carolina or anything or with rental homes, but I have to assume because there wasn't a gate or a barrier on the deck to the pool, like you could just open the door and the pool was within 3 feet, that was some sort of safety thing they had to put in for legal reasons.
The equivalent of having a fence or something.
So, I mean, it is like if a kid got up in the middle of the night and they opened that door, then we were all going to hear.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was a lot of fun. The kids really enjoyed the beach again. I mean, we had just been there, 8 months ago?
Before? Yeah.
But what's interesting, I mean, like 8 months for Emmy is like huge.
Oh, yeah.
She
was
developed
completely
quite a
different,
bit.
yeah.
Owen developed somewhat in 8 months.
He changed a lot.
But they really enjoyed the beach. They really enjoyed the sand still. There were little pools down under the water. Unfortunately, there was a lot of rip currents, so we really couldn't go in the water, but the pool was nice. So
Yeah. I mean, we still like jumped waves a little, but we didn't go in past like our knees.
Yeah, we really didn't go in much further than that.
I mean, I wouldn't go in past my knees anyways.
Right.
The ocean's dangerous.
Sharks.
And creatures and riptides.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
All this octonauts. It's teaching Owen things about the ocean. It's making me terrified of the ocean.
Crown of thorns starfish. Everything's octonauts right now.
Yeah, everything's octonauts. So that was our...
And then it was 16 hours getting home.
It was, oh my gosh.
It was 16 hours getting home. We had a potential flat scare again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So like 2 hours into the trip.
Which you didn't get on camera because it's one of those things where you just don't think about pulling out a camera. You're just like,
oh, because you immediately went into how are we going to fix this? We ended up pulling off the highway and there was a Walmart that had an auto shop.
It was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I was like, just go to the auto shop. And you were like, I'm just going to get a tire gauge. And I'm like, just go to the auto shop. And you were like, I'm just going to get a tire gauge to make sure this is like a real thing. And then you were gone forever.
I couldn't find it. It was in a weird...
Forever.
I looked in the bike section.
And you didn't bring your phone.
I forgot my phone.
Yeah. So you've gone forever. And then in my head, I was like, we're still 14, like we were still, I don't know, 11 hours from home at that point.
Sticky gecko.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I guess we live here now. Because I was like, if we need to get all new tires, what are the chances that this auto bar at Walmart is going to have the run flats that we need, even one to replace in the car? We're going to need to wait for someone to go get it. And what am I going to do with the kids? And we're going to be separated. And I didn't pack that much backup stuff. And I was like, we'll just live here now.
We would have just put non-run flats on and gone home.
Ugh.
We found a place that would have done it. There was enough auto centers around there.
Just a faulty sensor.
Well, you looked that up, actually.
I did.
You looked it up and saw that the flashing thing was a low battery or something.
Yeah. And the tire pressure was fine.
Yeah. And while we were coming back up, I shouldn't say that. While we were going down, we knew there was a problem with the AC in the rear.
That there could be. Yeah.
The rear was leaking to some extent and it wasn't working at full capacity, which going down to a hot beach area wasn't great, but it lasted throughout the time we were there. It unfortunately died. It was dying as we were driving home, and then as soon as we got home, it did get totally died.
The day before, it was 90 degrees for 2 days. It died.
We found out by picking up the kids in hot weather after they were running around outside.
Yeah, I picked them up from daycare, got them in the car, and I had left I did leave the car running. But I had like tried to blast the air on the way down, so the car was cool. And it was like lukewarm air coming out. And I was like, I have this set to low. I'm like checking the settings.
Yeah, because for some reason, sometimes you can do that and it's like, it doesn't turn on the AC in that car.
Yeah, so I made sure it was on. I like even turned it off and back on. And I was like, all right, well, maybe it's just like a hot day and it's taking a while. But then like by the time we got home, the kids were both like screaming because they were so hot.
Yeah, it was literally a meltdown.
Both their backs had like sweat through.
They're very sweaty
because they were
kids.
just playing outside too, so they didn't get any relief.
Water.
Yeah, we like got in the driveway and Owen was like, "I need ice water." Actually,
I'm surprised he didn't make you get one of those blue freezy drinks from Taco Bell.
I think he just wanted to get home. But I had called you on the way home and was like, "Have ice water ready for when we pull in the driveway."
So we are now using the Forester, and the van's parked to the side until we get that fixed.
We get it fixed.
I think that we got hit by a rock or something while driving through the day, and it punctured the. We'll find out when we bring it in, but I guarantee you that's what happened.
Yeah.
I tell you that Toyota reliability ain't there.
Ugh, gosh.
Subarus, the turbo Subarus are more reliable than the Toyota.
I don't want to replace this. What is it called? On the blue car we replaced.
Oh, we replaced.
Oh, you just said it.
On the blue car, we replaced the turbo, the radiator, the exhaust.
Yeah. All of it.
Tires?
I don't know. I just feel like
That had a flat recently too.
We're always fixing the car. The cars always need fixing.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we like get a little money back.
The only car that is actually doing well is the one that we're actually considering getting rid of.
Yeah, I guess we should reconsider that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's Dave and I. We keep joking because every time we come into a little money, like our tax return or
STAR program.
Yeah, like tax STAR program. I don't know if every state has this, but like tax STAR program or like bonus at work or something.
It's birthday money.
Yeah, birthday money, anything. We're like, ooh, we're gonna
find a dollar bill on the ground.
We're gonna treat ourselves to something, or like I got a little like bonus PTO payout coming at work, and Dave was like, oh, do something for yourself, and I was like, oh no, it's fine. He was like, no, you never do that. And then it's like new tires.
Well, what was it? The tax? We got our tax credit back, and the dryer broke.
Yeah, we got our tax refund back.
And then
the dryer broke.
And then Owen stepped on a branch, and it went through a thorn from the branch of the tree, and it went through his foot. And we had to cut that down.
Yeah, we had to.
That wasn't cheap.
That was not cheap. And then this was minor, but we had a leak under the faucet.
Yeah, we had to get the kitchen faucet completely
so we were like,
replaced.
okay, they come in threes, so here we go.
Well, we restarted the 3 because the car broke.
Yeah, the AC broke, the tires.
So we got one more.
Maybe your mom's bike accident counts.
Let's
count it. Let's count it.
Good.
And then we're good.
The flush.
We're good.
6.
We're good. Multiples of 3.
I swear there's some truth to that.
They say. So yeah, what else is going on in our lives?
We recently celebrated Father's Day.
We did.
That was fun.
That was a fun day. We kind of did our biking routine for that day.
A little bit. Something fun that Owen discovered at the beach was lemonade.
Yeah.
Ice cold lemonade.
Ice cold lemonade. We went to a farmer's market. So
we happened to stumble upon it.
Yeah, we were going to this little splash pad, which the kids had zero interest in.
Oh, they don't like it because it sprays them in the eyes.
Yeah. And there were too many people for them. There were too many kids.
Yeah, they've got COVID issues.
Yeah. And there was this cute little farmer's market going on, and there was a little food truck, but for like lemonade, and it was so
caramel
good.
Popcorn.
Oh yeah, we got caramel popcorn.
So
it was like 10 a.m. Or no, it was pretty early.
It was before lunch.
Because
we went to get lunch later.
Yeah, we got caramel popcorn, and then we got lemonade, and Owen was obsessed. He like crouched down like Gollum and just drank it all.
Pictures of it. Maybe we'll put it up on the Facebook page.
But he loved it, so now that's his new.
Speaking of that, we've got all the videos up on my YouTube channel, which is The Dad Adventure on YouTube. We have our Spillproof Podcast YouTube channel as well, which really is just podcasts put up there as well. But some of the stuff that we've been doing is up on my YouTube channel, which is The Dad Adventure. So check that out as well as on Instagram. And that's got our trip on there. It's got Father's Day on there.
Some other good ones too.
Yeah. Technically has the bike accident on there.
But your mom doesn't know, and I told you have to ask her.
I know. Well, she'll know when she hears this podcast.
Goodness. I warned him.
Yeah.
I warned him. Yeah, so that's been our lives recently. The kids start 3 days at daycare next week.
Yes.
They're going 2. They start 3 days next week.
We're potty training Emily.
Yeah, you guys
We're
are
potty
probably
training our 2-year-old.
She's not even 2 yet.
1-year-old.
Yeah, but she has really been showing signs, and I don't want to miss out on it.
I've never stuck my thumb in poop before.
She's doing great with going number 1 on the potty. She had 0 pee accidents yesterday and 1 today, and she was really bummed about it. Apparently, your mom said
the reason why we thought she was ready is because whenever she peed in her diaper, she immediately wanted it changed.
And she does, and she was going to the bathroom on the potty every once in a while.
So hopefully by Monday she'll be like 80% of the way there, 90%.
Yeah, we're gonna because we had like a little parent teacher conference with her toddler teacher at daycare today.
We love our daycare.
Yes,
Daycare's
we love
the
them
best.
so much, and we were like, "Hey, we're potty training Emily." And their face was like, "What?"
Your 1-year-old?
Because she doesn't really do like she will ask, like she will tell us when she has to go to potty here, and like she'll see Owen do it, so then she'll do it. And she doesn't really do that at school, so I think they were surprised that we were doing it, and so we're not like gonna force it. Like we have pull-ups, so we're like at home she'll wear underwear. If we're going to like my parents' house,
It
or
might
your
take a
mom's
little bit
house,
longer than Owen did, just because we're starting early, and we understand that.
But I think
Owen's
like,
very jealous of that.
Of-
He's very jealous because
of what?
you haven't seen it?
Of the pull-ups?
No, of Emily.
Oh, because she's getting attention.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we'll give her a bunch of praise, and then he'll go sit in the potty, go and be like, I pee too.
I'm like, so I've been trying to tell him that Emmy is doing so well because he showed her how to do it, and he's been helping her this
He
whole
just wants
time.
attention.
And then he's like, because we're giving Emmy like the little Welch's gummies. So if she goes on the big girl potty, she gets 2. If she does a whole number 2, she gets a whole packet.
It's what we did with
It's what
Owen.
we did with
and it worked
Owen, yeah.
really
But
well.
now he's like, I went to the bathroom. Can I have some gummies?
Yeah.
I'm like,
which
my gosh.
which for months he hasn't asked for
Yeah.
gummies.
Yeah, and now he'll be like,
I don't even think he wants them.
no, he just wants them.
We recently we've given him packets, and he's like, he'll eat a couple and be like,
He'll
I'll
be like,
save it
"Nah,
for
I'm
later.
good."
He has self-control.
He's unlike his mother. But yeah.
on food related items. He's got
Food-related,
self-control.
Yeah. But yeah, so big things. Hope we'll give everyone an update after she's fully potty trained. So far, it's so much easier than Owen.
Yeah.
Kids are just different, you know. But she also saw Owen be potty trained, and
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
She
We
was
think that she's
almost-
talking a little bit more than Owen was around this time.
which
Owen
I
didn't
bet
start
is
talking until
pretty,
really talking until after 2, like a little bit after 2.
Yeah.
And she's coming up on that.
like he obviously spoke words, but like putting full sentences and concepts together, and she's starting to do that a little bit more.
She started understanding things a lot more sooner than he
I
did.
bet that's pretty common with a second kid, though.
Like concepts and things.
Yeah.
Like she still has trouble conveying things, and she's got attitude like
Ooh,
no tomorrow.
so much sass. There's this picture from Father's Day where
I feel like we need to put that on a shirt too.
oh my gosh, but
Yeah, Owen will just be
she's
so mad about that.
yeah, we're in like a soccer field playing around, and she has her hand on her hip is cocked, and her other hand is like pointing like sassily to the sky, and she's telling Dave off or something.
It's pretty funny.
Oof.
I think we should.
It's
put that on a shirt.
terrifying. She's not even 2 yet. Oh, goodness.
We got to get some shirts with Owen on it.
Yeah, we have one shirt with Emmy on it because she just took the funniest picture at daycare drop-off one day, and we got a shirt for me, Owen, and Dave. And
We're
Owen,
gonna wear it on her birthday.
Yeah, and Owen refuses to even look at it, and if we're wearing it, he tells us to cover it up
Or take it off.
or take it off. So we need to get a shirt with him on it. I thought he was gonna like it and think it's funny. He hates it.
He hates it. It's not him.
Anything else going
I
on
was
in
gonna
our
say,
lives right
Do we
now?
have anything else going on right now? We're going to a food truck rodeo this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to food truck
In our
rodeo.
neighborhood.
We're trying to schedule some vaccines, but trying to figure out when we
Play
can do
date
that at
this
our
weekend.
pediatrician next weekend.
Oh, I thought it was this weekend.
No, it's July 2nd.
Oh, jeez. July's already coming up.
Next weekend, I know.
Jeez. So wait, what day is July 4th?
Monday.
Okay, so we'll be off Monday.
We'll be off Monday.
Long weekend. That's cool.
Yeah. have a
And I
long
checked
weekend.
this year too. Christmas Eve is on a weekend.
It's on a Saturday, yes.
Yeah.
So we'll be
we're
good.
covered. As most of you probably know, we do Christmas Eve with Becky's parents, Christmas Day here, and then whenever Dan's not working, Christmas.
Yeah.
With my mom.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
with my new job, it's
just because we
different.
do sometimes like we don't get Christmas Eve off a lot. It just depends when it falls. So we were worried that we'd have to like
ask for it
off,
off.
and then everyone wants that day off, and blah blah.
Right.
So
But we lucked out this year. Maybe
Yeah.
next year. Ask her it off for next year.
there you go. Just get ahead by a year.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like
But yeah, we're really looking forward to summer. Our goal is to get outside and do some fun outside activity every weekend, whether it's biking or walking or...
We'd like to take another trip over to the Cincinnati Zoo?
Cleveland Zoo. Yeah, we'd like to get to like maybe take 1 or 2 nights away. Maybe like Old Forge, because that's only 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, and what is Cleveland? Is that 6?
That's 4 hours. It was 4, so it's not bad.
No,
but just
that's all 90, so that's really easy too.
Yeah, go on some more date nights.
Yes, we want to try to do more date nights.
Some more date nights,
especially now that the nanas only have to do 2 days a week.
Yeah, they each do 1 day a week.
Saturday we'll get.
So basically, yeah, we're gonna shift the day that they did.
We haven't explained that to them yet, so this is our entry to that. Hope they're listening.
There you go. We expect some Saturday date nights, everyone.
We had one not that long ago that was actually a lot of fun. Yeah,
we did.
Just in town.
Yep.
It was fun.
It was really fun.
We had alcoholic kombucha that was very good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I never had it before because it, like, on paper just looks and sounds disgusting, but it was really good.
It was a peach one that was really good.
The peach was really good.
It was like a berry one.
Yeah, it was berry, really and then the peach was really good.
The peach was good. It was like peach tea almost.
Yeah, and then we'll end the summer and Dave and Emmy's birthday at Disney World.
Yes, we're going to go to Disney World for how many days?
We're there for 5 nights. 4 days in the park, 1 day at the resort. We're very excited about that.
We'll have to report back on that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have videos on it and pictures and all sorts of stuff.
But yeah, we'll be there for your birthday and Emmy's second birthday.
We're going to be there when it's really hot.
Yeah, like
hot.
When it was 92 and humid here, I went on a walk around the neighborhood and I almost died.
I'm currently training right now with a heater in my office at 82 degrees. I work every day at 82 degrees in the basement.
Yeah, you
40%
keep it
humidity.
So hot. And sometimes on lunch, I will go work out down there. And I'm like, you got to turn that heater off. I'm going to pass out. Because we have like our Bowflex stepper thing.
All the workout equipment's in the basement.
Yeah. And so I'm like a sweaty person anyways. And then I'll be like, what does your temperature thing say? And Dave's like, 86. I'm like, turn it down.
It's never been more than 83.
It's so hot.
But the humidity recently has been quite high.
Yeah.
It's not drying out because of the AC.
Yeah.
So it's like 40% humidity, which it's usually down in like the 20s.
And you'll have like a sweater on too.
I'm cold. I'm always cold
Dave,
down there.
It's 80.
I'm freezing up here right now.
Oh, I'm fine.
Really? My legs are numb. It's so cold.
Well, that's because the vent is right underneath this table. That's why Owen hates eating dinner here.
Yeah, that's what he's telling you. He just wants to watch TV.
But sometimes he does shiver.
He purposely does it. He knows how to manipulate. Kid's smart.
That's why I instituted dinner at the dinner table. Picnics on every once in a while. All right. Well, that's what's going on with us recently.
Yeah. What recently, now, and will be.
Yeah. We're excited.
I'm sure
excited for the summer.
Get a couple more out here I think we're getting back on our regimented schedule-ish, so to speak.
Yes, fingers crossed.
I know we've got a couple other couple topics in the chute.
The hopper. That made me think of Stranger Things in the hopper.
Has anybody else watched Stranger Things?
Does anyone else watch Stranger Things? Of course they do.
That's not what I meant. I meant like, has anybody else watched Stranger Things and just thought that the first couple episodes were just like, meh?
So, yeah, this is like obviously tangent. Now we're getting into, different topics.
We got what we needed into.
Yeah,
we hit that hour-ish time frame, so anybody else can just sign off.
We just felt like it was a copy, and it was paying homage to like horror movies of the 80s.
Yeah.
But I was like, are you just copying this? That's what I've always loved about Stranger Things is
it's always been unique.
Been unique and original. And I felt like the beginning of the season, I was like, okay, Freddy Krueger.
They purposely did it. Okay. They said they did.
Absolutely, it was intentional. But it was like
so in your face that it was like.
I was like, okay, and I don't like the crickety crack of parts.
I don't like the eyes thing.
Yeah, I don't like that entire part. But towards the end, it was like. Classic Stranger Things.
Yeah,
and we were
towards the end it was good. In the last 2 episodes that should be coming out soon.
Yeah, A week from tomorrow.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
like
July
in a week or
1st.
two.
I didn't think you were gonna make it past the first episode. Dave really doesn't like horror movies or scary movies.
No, and you know what? The first couple seasons, the first few seasons weren't like that.
They
I
were
wouldn't
like
consider them horror.
thrillers, but not horror.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
This was like
Straight up horror.
it had that suspense to it.
After the first episode, I made you come to the bathroom with me. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I made you stand outside and talk to me while I went to the bathroom because
Yeah.
I was afraid.
The first was pretty. It was pretty intense.
I didn't like it.
No, I actually was really bummed because like this is not going to be a good watch.
Yeah, because you're just going to be
It got-
stressed
and it
out.
got
But then,
better after
yeah,
the
it was
last-
like after the first 2 episodes, it was like back onto
Like
it.
into
its
the
normal
third
track.
episode,
Yeah.
it was back.
I was like, okay,
where it was.
all right, we're into it. I'm excited for the last 2.
Yeah, we got caught up on
Episodes.
Spider-Man. We got to watch,
Multiverse of Madness.
which just hit Disney Plus,
Yep.
and finished Kenobi,
Yep.
which was meh.
Yeah, your brother was like, the finale is epic. It's so great.
It was just meh.
It was fine.
It was okay. And for someone who likes Star Wars, I thought it was going to be better. The ending, that is, the ending.
Yeah.
Which everything was preset anyways, because everything we know everything that happened after it, so it's not like
And
there were gonna
as
be any surprises. But
someone who like I'll watch Star Wars, but I'm not.
you watched The
hugely
Mandalorian.
invested. Yeah, like I'll watch it and I like it,
I don't
but
think you watched the Book of Boba
if
Fett.
I watched the episodes that The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda were in, or Grogu were in.
That's right.
But yeah, like I was like, okay. He said it was epic. This didn't feel epic to me. But again, I'm not a huge Star
I don't think
Wars
anything of
fan.
that was epic. Any
Yeah.
of the series wasn't epic.
But yeah, so that's this is our take on life and pop culture.
Where we are as parents of a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yeah, we wait for things to come out on streaming on Disney Plus or
Yeah.
on demand. So
I would see
can
Buzz
buy them.
Lightyear. I would support that, but I'm not going in theaters.
No, and I want to see like Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm. Which,
But we'll
if maybe
probably
we'll have
wait.
to get like a month of HBO. What is it now? Go.
I don't think it's
Plus.
on there.
I'm sure it'll go on there sooner than we can see it.
I think it'll go on demand on Prime. Before then, before
You
it's on
think so?
HBO, yeah.
I don't know. Some stuff hits HBO because of Universal's contract with them.
But I don't think as soon as we think it will.
I feel like Multiverse of Madness came out really quick.
Really quick, yeah. But we'll see. Maybe we can like do a date night and go to the drive-in, see Jurassic World.
Oh, I would do that. The drive-in,
that'd
that'd
be
be cool.
fun, 'cause
Because
then
all you do is you pay the extra $5 and you bring in all the food you
You
want.
bring in all your favorite snacks. You can stay in your car,
Mm-hmm.
watch a movie in the comfort of your own car that has air conditioning.
Which is one of our cars.
Which is
right
one
now.
of our cars. Hey, it's one. That's
Mhm.
all you need is one. There you go. Date night planned.
There you go. It's like our, what was that, our third
Our
date?
third date was
Was it
at the
drive-in?
drive-in. We saw the Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters with the ladies.
What was the second movie?
Tarzan. With the people.
Oh, yeah.
With like Margot Robbie and
It was like meh.
Alexander Skarsgård. It was fine.
I don't think
The first one was
anybody's
better,
ever
obviously.
seen or
I
remembered
like that Ghostbusters.
No, I do too.
A lot of people.
I was going to say the Tarzan. I don't think anybody remembers the Tarzan.
The Tarzan was the second movie, obviously.
Yeah. Most people leave.
Yeah. We stayed.
I think you fell asleep.
I think I did. I was like trying to stay awake, but I kept nodding off.
Third date, you've fallen
It's
asleep.
like 2 a.m.
Fallen asleep.
It was 2 a.m.
You really trusted me, huh?
Should I not have?
No, I'm just saying. Third date and you fell asleep in my car.
I did.
You did.
I did. Not for a long time. I nodded off occasionally here and there
Yeah.
past midnight. So the entire second movie. I really don't remember much of that movie.
There was rain. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I really don't remember any of it. I
No.
like remember flashes of it. That's it.
Yeah. Me
When
too.
I was awake. All right. Well,
I think
what we
that's it.
got.
Thanks for listening to the Spillproof podcast. As always, reach out to us at spillproofpodcast@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you all, and we can't wait to talk with you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.